Alright guys, well the fire alarm systems were dismantled temporarily while some light construction slash painting was being done to this wall. And now it's all back up, and I've got something new to show you. The 4005 system got a little upgrade with this Simplex 4602-9102 remote annunciator. I have one of these Simplex keypad annunciators for a long time, and now I finally do have one. Now this annunciator, I actually got a pretty good deal on it. I bought it off of eBay, where I pretty much buy all my fire alarm parts from. I actually got this for about $30 US. This was listed on eBay, and it was sitting on there for quite a while. I can't remember exactly how long it was sitting on eBay, but I remember that this particular unit was sitting on eBay for a pretty significant amount of time before I came along and purchased it. This unit came from Canada, and the ad was in Canadian currency, so it was like the guy wanted like 40-something Canadian dollars for it, which, you know, I forgot how the conversion works and everything. I forgot the conversion from Canadian to US dollars, but this was incredibly cheap. I offered the guy, I forgot how much I offered him, but either way I ended up getting this for about 30 US dollars, because I had offered him something a little lower, and but I ended up getting it for about 30 US dollars, which is pretty darn cool. Now the annunciator unit I actually got separately. This front bezel that goes on it, this whole part of it, I actually bought that separately. That part just happened to be on eBay. I think it's YouTube user JJ Inc 24 that had it listed on his eBay store, and the bezel itself was only $10, because this unit did not include the bezel. It was missing the bezel, the trim plate, and the back box. So the bezels are, from what I've experienced, the bezels are very difficult to find, and so I just picked them up at the same time, and I pretty much have one complete unit here. Well, I actually probably shouldn't say complete, more like half complete. I have the unit and the bezel, but I still need to pick up a back box for it. I'm going to pick up a surface mount back box for it, and then the last part I'm really struggling to find for it is the trim plate. There's if you guys have seen these annunciators before, either the 4602 or the 4603 series, they have either the beige or the brushed aluminum trim plates that go around them, and you have to have both the back box and the trim plate to hold down the bezel. And as you guys can see, I'm not sure if the camera's picking it up, but I have tape there, tape there, tape there, tape there, and right there to hold the bezel down, and that's what I'm gonna have to use for now. But so the back box I found, but the trim plate is what I'm really trying to find. It's not an easy find. Ideally, I would like to get the optional model 4602-9111, I believe it is, brushed aluminum trim plate for this annunciator. It looks really cool, you know, and but it's a very hard part to find. So if any of you know where I can find that particular item, or even the beige trim plate, you know, please do let me know. You know, if you have any leads as to where I can get one of those, that would be great. But right now I'm just holding on the bezel with tape, and the unit is pretty much all there. Now, something else I just thought I'd point out very quickly is that this annunciator, this particular model, is a little bit different. I mean, it's got the same design and it works the same as pretty much every other 9102. But this particular unit, like I said, came from Canada, and although it is not labeled as a Canadian model, the sticker on it does have the options. So like these These annunciators, they have the universal sticker on them with all the different model numbers of the same type, and the model number that the device is, they just check it off. And the normal US models of this annunciator, the sticker says 4602-9101 all the way up to 9106. This one only says 9101, 9101CA, 9102, and 9102CA. CA meaning Canadian. So I'm not really sure what the difference is. This sticker here, I can't remember exactly what the sticker says. It says something about if you use this annunciator with a 4020 or a 4100 panel. This sticker is not found on the US models, so I think that's interesting. While this is not a Canadian model, it's got some characteristics that that do make it a little bit different from the models you see here in the US. So I think that's kind of interesting. Wiring this thing into the 4005 was actually pretty easy. Let me go ahead and show you guys really quick, since I don't think there's a video out there really explaining how to wire these. Now, according to the manual, you're supposed to use a very specific type of wire for it. You're supposed to use the twisted shielded pair for the data communications between the annunciator and the panel. I'm not using that because this isn't a big, this isn't an actual building system, so I'm not really worried about that. I'm just using the crappy, whatever kind of wire this is that I am using. But the connections are very simple. It just needs regular 24 volt power, which is, I'm using terminals 6 and 4 for the positive and the negative output on the power distribution module. Then those other two wires are the power for the LEDs on my annunciator panels. And then the communication positive and negative wires just run into the external remote unit interface terminals on the CPU. So really easy to hook this thing up. And then after I hooked it up, there are dip switches right here and here that have to be set correctly. Then you have to go into the panel's programming, and add an RUI card and configure each of the LEDs on that to do what you want. So I only have the Zone 1 and Zone 2 LEDs programmed. I'm not even using Zone 2 on this panel. Obviously, with both my systems, it's a very small setup, so I am just using one zone on the 4005 and one IDC loop, or one device on the IDC loop on the 4010. So the only LED I have configured is for Zone 1, or actually I do have Zone 2 configured, like I just said. However, it is not being used. So anyway, let me go ahead and close the panel, and we'll go ahead and give this thing a quick test. So this annunciator is very simple to operate. You have your key switch here, which takes the Simplex C key. That's what I call it, because there was an actual A key, which I believe was for the older Simplex clock systems. But this is the famous little key that works in the Simplex annunciators, and it also does the duct detector test station. So anyway, to make anything on this annunciator work, as you guys can see right now, all the buttons are disabled. They don't do anything, unlike the 4603 and 4606 units, where the buttons will actually, the annunciator will still make a sound when you press the buttons. The buttons are completely disabled if the key's not, if the key switch is not turned on. So now I'm going to enable it by turning the key, and now you get that little buzzer, that buzz sound from the piezo or piezo, however you say it, when you press the button. I really like the buzzer on this annunciator. It's very low pitch, and I just think it sounds cool. I think that's one of the coolest parts about these units. So get your trouble silent switch, which also serves as an alarm acknowledge, alarm silent, system reset, and then since this annunciator was originally designed to work with the 4002, It also has the manual evac button, which is the fire drill button, basically, which is also found on the 4002. So anyway, I will go ahead and activate the system with the pull station, and we will silence and reset the system via the Annunciator. I have to remove the key, get my Simplex B key, and reset the pull station. Hopefully it won't reactivate. There we go. Yeah, it did. And for some reason that the pulsation is at an awkward angle, so it's kind of hard to reset without re-alarming the system. So anyway, now I'm going to put in a system reset. Watch the screen on the 4005 if you can see it. And for some reason that screen is really hard to pick up on camera. As you guys can see, the Annunciator is properly communicating with the panel. So I'll wait till that resets. And then once that does, I will go ahead and demonstrate the manual evacuation button. Alright, the system's reset. Now I'll do a quick manual evac. Now notice the difference with the manual evac button. The zone LED doesn't flash because it's not actually a zone that activated. It's just a fire drill. So there is no fire alarm light that flashes when you do a manual evac from the Annunciator. However, the fire alarm light on the main panel does flash. So let's put in a system reset. And there you guys go. So I thank you guys for watching today. And once the system resets, that'll be it.